Imagine leaving your home one morning and never being allowed to come back. The dishes still on the table, the clothes still in the closet. A whole city frozen at the exact moment everyone fled. A glamorous resort sealed behind barbed wire. A village left in ruins on purpose, so the world would never forget what happened there. And a city so poisoned that decades later, no one is allowed to live in it again. These are 5 cities that were abandoned overnight and never reopened. And number one will stay empty for thousands of years.
Number 5. Kolmanskop, Namibia. In the deserts of Namibia stands a town that the sand is slowly eating alive. A little over a century ago, Kolmanskop was one of the richest places in Africa. Diamonds had been found in the sand here, so many that early miners could reportedly pick them up off the ground by moonlight. Overnight, a grand town sprang up in the middle of the desert. A ballroom, a theater, a hospital with the first X-ray station in the region, a casino, fine European mansions in the middle of nowhere. But the diamonds ran out. Richer fields were found far to the south, and the people left one by one until the town was simply empty. And then the desert moved in. With no one to hold it back, the sand began pouring through doorways and windows, filling entire rooms to the ceiling, burying the grand houses where families once danced. Today, you can walk into a mansion and stand waist-deep in a dune, inside the living room. A town built on the world's most precious stones, slowly swallowed by the cheapest thing in the desert: sand. Number 4. Hashima Island, Japan. Off the coast of Nagasaki, Japan, a strange shape rises from the sea. It looks like a battleship made of concrete, and that's exactly what they call it: Battleship Island. Its real name is Hashima, and it was once the most crowded place on the entire planet. Beneath the waves here lay coal, and to mine it, thousands of workers were packed onto this tiny rock. At its peak, more than 5,000 people lived crammed onto an island barely the size of a few city blocks, in towering concrete apartment blocks with schools, shops, and temples stacked on top of one another. It held one of the highest population densities in human history. Then, in the 1970s, the coal ran out. And when the mine closed, the island emptied almost overnight. Thousands of people packed up and left within a matter of weeks. What remains is a crumbling concrete ghost, battered by the sea, its empty towers slowly collapsing into ruin. The island's full history is a difficult one, including a dark chapter of forced labor in earlier years. An entire city, once the most crowded place on Earth, left to rot alone in the middle of the ocean. Number 3. Oradour-sur-Glane, France. In the countryside of central France sits a village that was deliberately left in ruins, as a wound the country refuses to let heal. Oradour-sur-Glane looks like time stopped in 1944. Rusted cars sit in the street. Sewing machines rust in roofless workshops. The tram lines still run into an empty, silent town. Because on a single day in June of 1944, during the Second World War, this village suffered an atrocity. Nazi SS troops rounded up the population, and hundreds of men, women, and children were killed in a matter of hours. An entire community gone in an afternoon. After the war, France made a decision. The old village would never be rebuilt, never cleaned up, never restored. It would be preserved exactly as the killers left it. Every burned wall, every ruined home, as a permanent memorial to the people who died there. A new village was built nearby, and the old one was left frozen in its final, terrible day. Some places are abandoned by accident. This one was left in ruins on purpose. so that no one would ever be allowed to forget. Number 2. Varosha, Cyprus. On the coast of Cyprus lies the ghost of what was once one of the most glamorous resorts in the world. In the early 1970s, Varosha was the place to be. Its golden beaches were lined with luxury high-rise hotels. Movie stars and icons, the most famous faces of the era, came here to be seen. It was the jewel of the Mediterranean. Then, in 1974, war came to Cyprus. As the fighting reached the city, the roughly 40,000 people of Varosha fled, believing they'd be back in days. They never returned. The area was fenced off with barbed wire and sealed as a military zone, and there it sat for decades untouched. A perfect time capsule of the 1970s. Cars left in dealership showrooms, clothes still hanging in shop windows, meals reportedly still on tables. An entire modern city frozen at the exact moment its people ran while nature slowly cracked through the pavement. A glamorous city where the rich and famous once played, abandoned behind a fence and left to decay in silence for half a century. Number 1. Pripyat, Ukraine. In the north of Ukraine stands the most famous ghost city on Earth, a place that will remain deadly for longer than human history has existed. Pripyat was built in 1970 as a model Soviet city, a shining home for the workers of the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Nearly 50,000 people lived here, young families, in modern apartments with schools, a hospital, cafes, and a brand new amusement park about to open.
Then, on April 26, 1986, reactor number 4 exploded, and everything changed. For a full day, the residents were told nothing, going about their lives as invisible radiation settled over the city. Then the order came. In just a matter of hours, the entire population was loaded onto more than 1,000 buses and driven away, told to pack for a few days. They were never allowed to come home. What they left behind became a monument to disaster. Toys still lying on nursery floors, books open on classroom desks, and that amusement park, its Ferris wheel, meant to open days later, now rusting in silence, never once carrying a single child. The whole city is being slowly reclaimed by the forest, radioactive and still. Nearly 50,000 lives interrupted in an afternoon. And the land they left behind will not be safe again for thousands of years.